Hey everybody, we are in the serene surroundings of the beautifully closed off Boss booth, NAMM 2019.
With the
Jeff
softest
here,
floor.
product expert, designer, wonderful guitarist, shampoo endorsee. Anyway, and probably we heard a little bit about this product we're about to show last year, and it seems as if it's absolutely every good idea anybody ever had about anything in one box.
It's absolutely everything I've ever wanted. Done.
Is that it? Okay, thank you for watching,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
We'll
Have a good day.
So I guess the issue, we're talking about the tube expander, and everybody has experienced a situation where they've got a valve amplifier that sounds amazing when they crank it up really, really loud, doesn't sound so good when they have it really, really quiet, and so it becomes a challenge to record that amplifier or gig with that amplifier unless you've got a space where you can make that kind of noise. And then and there are companies out there that have solutions for that, and then there are other companies that go, well, what if my amp's really quiet and I want to make it louder, and then there's solutions for that. And then what if I want to record straight into a DAW, and there are solutions for that. But this is like every solution ever in one box.
Yes.
So tell us about the tube expander.
Okay, where it starts is it's a reactive load attenuator. So, but here's this is very important to kind of focus on. There are 16 different reactive loads. Now, most guitar players don't even know what a reactive load is. Most guitar players don't even realize that their speaker is not only just an EQ device that goes out, but when it moves, it sends voltage back, and that voltage that comes back actually changes the tone of your tube amp, right? So when I'm connected to a 112, my head sounds one way. When I'm connected to a 412, it sounds a different way.
Which is why speakers are really important, which we've tried to point out in our videos
exactly.
as well.
When that speaker moves, it actually sends voltage back all the way, that ripples back all the way to the first two. Right? So it's very, 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 very important to be able to dial these in. So we've got 16 modes on here. We don't have one 412, we have 4 412s. So you can choose a vintage 30 cabinet, greenback 25, you name it, right?
So you're matching the reactiveness to the type of cab as closely as you can to the type of cab that you're using.
Exactly, because that's how you get that feel and that dynamics and that sponge. And as you were talking about, most of us, we have a master volume. Again, most guitar players aren't aware of the fact that the first tube to clip and distort is the last tube. So we want to get that master volume up to that point where those power tubes are doing something, and we always turn it down low, and what's the first words out of our mouths? It doesn't feel right? Well, because that's where it is. As soon as we stop clipping those things. So now you can dime your amplifier, you can go ahead and get it there, you can match it so that it's got the right resonance and interactions that are going on there. You have a continuously variable control on it, not a stepped control, continuously variable, and that right there would be enough. I'd just say thank you, I'm good to go. But
that'll take up to 100 watts, will it?
150.
150 watts. Woo!
And who's got 150 watts?
Just as well. Well, what is that? The triple rec, isn't it? The Boogie triple rec.
That's
maybe if you've got a bass,
if
you're using it with bass, some of the bigger bass amps will go up to that.
Exactly.
Kind of.
Well, it's got a little headroom on it, so it'll take up to 150 watts on it. Now, once we get over here, we have a rig control. So we have 10 different rigs, which are basically presets. And what's included in those presets is number one, reverb.
So now you're into the sort of the actual output that if you wanted to go straight to a desk or something with this.
A little bit further than that.
Right.
That reverb doesn't just go to the desk. It doesn't just go out the XLR. It doesn't just go out the USB recording device. It actually goes to the live physical speaker cabinet. So what you do here, it goes both to here and to the recording device. What's awesome about this is that having a nice reverb, but I had this on an AC30 the other day. It was just beautiful, just being able to turn up a little bit of reverb.
Of course, something with no reverb in it.
Vintage amp with no effects loop that you've previously had to put reverb in the front.
But see, effects loop is another thing, isn't it?
Effects loop. This actually adds an effects loop to those amplifiers. So if you have that classic plexi head, right, you plug this in, now I can add not only reverb, but I have an effects loop that I can put on it. I mean, how many friends of yours or you yourself have had your head modified to have an effects loop on it, only to screw up the tone?
Well, I mean, I'm very aware of the fact that vintage amplifiers that have tried to be reproduced and have had an effects loop in it never quite capture the sound of the vintage amplifier. And the dirtier the tone gets, the more problematic it becomes to put something like a delay over reverb just in the front end. So, wow. So this is literally this is an effects loop for any amp that hasn't got an effects loop.
Absolutely, but it gets more. There's more. Right?
There's more.
This button that says effects.
Yeah.
Via the software, you can actually go in and add compressor. You can choose from a selection of compressors. You have delay, so you can go ahead and add delay, choose from an analog delay, digital delay, whatever you want, SD 3000. Right? Go in and adjust all those, choose your reverb type, and it all goes through the live amplifier, all goes to the recording out, and it's just part of the rig preset.
So you save that as a preset. Yeah. How can you can you change them via foot switch, or will you have to?
Right, the classic
Hey.
foot switch, the GAFC, which we use for several of our other products. It comes with an overlay for it, and you just plug it into this guy, and
then you can just have your.
And what's awesome about it, you could use MIDI as well, because there is a MIDI in and out, and you can control that via MIDI. But I can go through all 10 rig presets that are here. I can turn things on and off, like the effects loop, the delay, the tap tempo for the delay, solo EQ, which is one of my favorite things. I love the ability to have that solo EQ, because you got your tone dialed in, your amps all set and going, you got that nice plexi, and then you want to have a solo boost.
So when you're using this, are you plugged? Is your guitar into this, and it's some sort of, or all these effects kind of effectively going in the effects loop, or in between the amp?
They're between the amp and the speaker.
Right. So you'd still, any traditional pedals that you wanted to go in the front end of the amplifier, you just use those conventionally into the amp, and then this just adds other stuff in between.
Absolutely, right. And since it has the MIDI out, if you have some type of switcher on your board or something like that, you could send MIDI the other way. So when I hit the foot switch here, it changes all those guys for me. Right. Along with that, you had a question?
No, sorry, no. Can you use like the ES3 or 8 or something?
Just send MIDI right
just
to it?
MIDI, but did you only need this?
No.
Could you?
Right. So it could already. You could already use a system that you might have that's available for it.
Oh man!
So the EQ, the solo, the effects, the effects loop, and then I love this, the amp control switch. The amp control switch sends out an AB, so if you have a channel switching amp, like a clean or distorted, right, you
do
can
it all via MIDI again.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And like, here's the classic problem: we have a cool amp, you've got a nice head, and it's got that classic clean that doesn't work so good when you want to have it match up with your distorted channel. Right. It's with this, I go ahead and put it on the clean. Dial the gain down really low, because you usually have to turn it up a little bit, and it's a little more crunchy than you wanted, a little less glassy than you wanted. I can go ahead and get it nice and clean. I can make up for the gain here. I can add a little compression on it, add a reverb that's appropriate to that tone. So now when I switch back and forth, it's the clean I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? Not the clean I had to sacrifice for.
Yeah.
And then my gain channel that I just love. So it's really right there, all in good. And then once it comes out, we have a speaker sims, of course. So you go to the speaker selection, so I just turn off, and I can choose from 24 different speaker cabinets that are in there. I can add my own IRs if I like to. I can choose mic position, mic distance, mic location, and of course I can even do room mics on and off at different distances.
Maybe I've misunderstood. I thought I'd picked up in some of the pre-release press that if you had a little, like a Fender Champ, like a little 5-watt thing, and you loved it, but you wanted to make it louder, that it would take the reactive load would also allow you to sort of send a powered output to another speaker to. Is that part of this?
Yes. What actually happens is this thing actually has a 100-watt power amp inside of it. So when you plug into the thing, so you can take that little Champ or whatever that maybe you've been recording with it in the studio. It's 10 watts. You take that guy, go ahead and use it in the studio. When you go out live, right, you can go ahead and plug that into a bigger amplifier, a speaker cabinet or something like that. Right?
So
that's all still using this section here, is it?
It is. And what's really important here is that when there are other devices that have speaker sims out and reactive loads, but they usually only have one reactive load, which means the head only thinks it's connected to one thing, like a 112 Deluxe.
Yeah.
Here, what I can do is I can pull up the 412 cabinet, and then I can go ahead and match the load for the amplifier, so I can dial them in. So if I want to do like an AC30 212, right, it's not just the EQ of the IR happening, it's actually the backwards distortion that's happening on the amplifier. So it's a full yin-yang system at that point in time.
We should absolutely hear one. It's literally, I mean, I've spent years looking at offerings from Two Notes, and more recently, obviously, Oxbox, and previous old reactive loads, and gone, oh, great, but actually, I'd also need this, and I'd also need this, and you end up with 3 or 4 different things, if you like, to sort of do to cover every situation.
Yeah.
And then you've just gone, yeah, well, we'll do it all in one box, and throw in a load of stuff that you hadn't thought you needed, but once I tell you about it, you'll be going, oh, wow, yeah, I definitely need that as well. And it's like, it's just ridiculous.
There are also some global functions which are really fun. Like you can have a global EQ. It's like forever I've loved that amp. I just wish it had a little more thump, so I can just put that just a little extra thing in there to like kind of offset it. Another one that I really love is of course Fletcher Munson curve. So what I love about this is most people don't
It's my
know
favourite band, Fletcher Manson.
Yeah.
Big in the 70s.
It was in '82, I think they started, right? Yeah. Well, so humans don't hear it at the same frequency, at the same volume. In other words, when an amplifier is loud, we hear bass and treble pretty equal with mids. But as you get quiet, it actually rolls off the bass and treble. So those classic thing on your stereo system, that loud button, that was to try and offset for it, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't continuous. With this, we can turn it on or off and have it continuous, so that through the live speaker cabinet, I'm sitting there, it's got the thump that I'm expecting because I'm loud as hell, right? As I turn it down, it'll maintain that thump perception, so I don't even realize I'm turning the amp thing up and down as much.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, was there more tech in the Millennium Falcon than in the Tube Expander, or is the Tube Expander has officially more tech than a Millennium Falcon?
That's why I have a picture of the Millennium Falcon right there.
So you could
That was the
compare
inspiration.
functionality.
Well, yeah. I think we did steal a few ideas, but it's all working in conjunction.
It's amazing. Honestly.
Right.
It's a trap. It's a
Lightspeed.
trap. Enemy in Sector 42, or whatever they say. Can we hear one?
Yeah, let's take you over to where
hear
I'm
it.
going to plug in the recording setup, and let's try it.
Okay, so we have, we've only got one microphone now, so I apologize as I share it between the three of us. We're using this killer sounding Friedman Runt head. Jeff's got a Les Paul plugged in straight into the front of it. The amp is running into the Tube Expander, including the channel switching control. So I'll be using that to switch from clean to distortion. And you're going to hear a couple of pieces of playing. One is where this microphone is picking up what's coming out the cab. So what you'll see is us gunning the amplifier insanely hard, but not having it that loud out the cab, and you can kind of see what that sounds like. And then we're going to switch over and see what the emulated output through the Tube Expander sounds like. So take it away with some high gain. So that literally, as you can hear now, is I can talk over that volume, and then this is still pretty comfortable. Can I put reverb in? So if I want to hear some reverb, obviously the reverb's dead easy. It's on a control here. Jeff's just showing us some of the different reverb options that you've got. So we've chosen a plate reverb. So here's nothing. I mean, you can definitely kind of hear that sag. Look where the master volume is on this amplifier here. Master's on, 3 o'clock. The gain's on sort of 1 or 2 o'clock.
This one goes to 11 as well.
On this amplifier, this would be cookingly loud. So if I hit the effects button here as well, you can see some of the effects on the screen now. Man. But yeah, if we just literally switcheroo a cable, because we've only got 2 inputs into our camera, and then you'll be able to hear the emulated output. Okay, so what we're hearing now is the emulated output through these speakers. You're hearing it straight into the camera. Jeff, what is the cab simulation you've put on this?
Okay, so what we have right now, if we just scroll over here on cab simulation, here we go, sim. Right, we can choose from a lot of different things that are available. Right, right now I've got on classic stack, 421 mic, short mic distance, kind of close to the center of the speaker, and I've got a little bit of a room mic on it. One of the nice options there is we have an air and anechoic chamber option as well. So you have anechoic, so it's nice and dry, or you have 2 different room simulations for like your live room microphone. So right now we've got a little bit of room mic on it, and let's just hear it.
I can add the effects back in as well if I want to. Oh man, I mean, don't worry too much about whether or not you liked the guitar sound or not. Just simply the important thing is to just compare how accurately close the sound that we heard coming out of the cabinet was compared to the sound that we heard straight into the door. That's insane. Yeah. And it's super robust as well. I mean, you could totally tour that or have it in the studio. Is it going to be rack mountable, do you think?
There's one right there in a rack mount.
Oh, good spot. Oh man!
You can use it with any amp, you know. And clean amp, you don't have to run it drive. You can do a clean amp, get high headrooms. You've got a 100-watt clean amp, you know.
One of the nice things is that extra headroom with the 100-watt amplifier. Not only is it good for taking that small amplifier and making it bigger, what I found it really useful for is like an AC30. I never noticed that I wanted a little bit more kick on it when I like, you know, it's just like that little tiny bit more was really sexy and full, right? So having a little extra power is nice.
Well, 100% we will be getting one of these for our video studio. We'll put it through its paces. We've got loads of different amps and cabs in there, different microphones as well, so we'll really be able to put it through its paces. We think they're coming around about May time. They're already listed on the Andertons site, so you can go over, read up some more specification, and even pre-order if you want one of the first ones. I think they're going to be about 1,200, but it'll tell you on the Andertons website. Jeff, you're a gentleman. Thank you very much for taking the time to. I know it's crazy busy here, and we've sort of, you know, taken up a good half an hour every time here.
I'm so thrilled to be here with you guys. Thank you very much for being here.
Last before we go though, a couple of other things to just tell you about. There's version 2 software for GT1000. Don't panic if you're an existing GT1000 owner. It's just a free upgrade.
Yep.
Roughly, what's the extras?
Some additional amp models that have been added to it, some additional effects models, and including like the Benson Echo Rec model that's in there, right? An orange amplifier, some distortion pedals, right? So just like kind of adding some new enhancements.
Cool.
And it's part of our continued commitment to the product to kind of keep moving it along. And I would expect even some more updates throughout the year.
Cool. And I think that's it, isn't it, from Boss?
That's it.
Good stuff. All right. See you in the next NAMM video. It is crazy for us today, but we're doing our best. And my voice is holding up. Not too bad. It's okay. Right. See you later. Bye.